And so I would like to bring up now a gentleman who I met him just, I think last month it was. My gosh, I feel like I've known him for quite a while because he's taught me so much in just a short period of time. Look, I thought I knew a lot of stuff about community solar because I've been in the industry for 4 years. But when I got in touch with Steve and I realized, man, I don't know half the stuff that I need. And not that I need to know it, but it's nice to know that someone can provide that level of clarity to people. And so I'd like to, if we can, let's see, do we have you on the line with us, Steve?
I'm here with you, Tony.
All right, fantastic. Before I turn it over to you, Steve, I just want to tell everybody, look, Steve has, he has like 15 years of experience in the solar market. And I know there's a lot of that is in community solar as well. But what I will tell you is that we've given him this de facto title. He is the vice president of community solar. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And he's just there to help. He's a genuine person that really wants to just help everybody succeed. And he was blown away by some of the things that he saw with us. But what I will tell you is that we're giving him this de facto title. He's a vice president of community solar, but he's also the professor of community solar at Think Energy. So, Steve, I don't know if you're going to share your screen or you want me to click through the slides as we're going. Let me know. But I appreciate you being here, and we'd love to turn it over to you and learn more about community solar.
Fantastic, Tony. Thank you. What, if you don't mind, do you want to just keep clicking through the slides? That would be great for me.
Will do. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, super. Thank you for that amazing introduction. I learned that I'm the professor of community solar just a couple of days ago, which I'm super excited about. High level, I just want to say two things. One, I've been doing this for 15 years, building my career in the solar industry and doing community solar for the last 6, which is a long time for us in community solar. But I just want to kind of echo what Tony had said earlier. When I met Mike Falquist and the leadership team here about a year and a half ago, I joined the team exactly a year ago at Think Energy, and I couldn't have joined fast enough. I mean, the historic success that we've seen from this team and this leadership team in the energy space is remarkable. And what we're doing today with the products that I'm seeing between the retail energy, the comp plans, the community solar, and all of the network team that we've built here at Think Plus, it's such an amazing opportunity. It's nothing but win-win-win for all parties. I've never seen anything like it in the energy space. And I see a lot of good things in solar. So I'm thrilled to be here with you guys tonight and with the team. So let me kick off with just kind of, high level community solar. I describe it as the most valuable commodity available in the energy space today, and I'll get into why. Generally speaking, it's nothing but savings, job growth, local resiliency, and more renewable energy development, which weans ourselves off of fossil fuels locally over time. So community solar is a pretty amazing niche in the solar industry or the energy space, really, where it's growing like wildfire across the US. When I started 6 years ago, when I started 6 years ago, I think we had 2 states that were actually operating with legislative programs. It was California, I'm sorry, it was basically Massachusetts and New York. And so now you can see all of the green states and the yellow states. These are all states. There's 22 across the United States that have legislation that allows us to operate, contract customers, and give them savings through community solar farms locally. And we have 2 states that we're operating with the Think Plus network, contracting customers immediately, enrolling customers for renewable energy savings through community solar farms today. And that's going to grow very quickly through all the rest of the green states. These orange guys are pending legislation. Passage of legislation literally any minute. It could be in the next couple of days. It could be in the next couple of weeks. I would say every one of these states will have a program deployed by the end of the year, this year at latest. So how does community solar work? It's really quite simple. Solar developers go out and they build solar farms in our backyards all over the states that we live in. So you may have seen them depending on the states that you all live in, but there's high volumes of them in the Northeast. But solar developers go out and they build solar farms. The solar farms get turned on. When they're done with construction, they start generating power and they send that power into the electric grid. That power literally just takes the path of least resistance. It's built and greens the lines around us. I love that visual. So as it generates clean energy, it's literally, displacing some form of fossil fuel, greens the lines around our homes and our streets. And what community solar programs allow us to do is sign up as a customer. If you pay an electric bill, generally speaking, in most states, you're eligible to sign up for a community solar subscription, which means you sign up for free. You know, there's no termination fees, and you get a valuable opportunity to save money through the solar farm. So every month after the solar farm, after you sign up and the solar farm is generating energy, you receive a monthly electric bill that's reduced by the solar farm generation, in which case we turn around and save you anywhere from 5 to 10% on the solar credits that were received. And we'll talk more about that. But solar farms get built, you save money, pretty straightforward. New York is an amazing opportunity for those of you who have a network or are in New York or know folks in New York. Most of us know someone through some outreach or extended network in New York, but they have literally the strongest commitment to solar energy or renewables across the U.S. today, bigger than California, which is kind of an interesting thing to tout. They are targeting, I would say, 10 gigawatts of solar by 2030. Nobody knows what that means, right? Just me. So it means that we're looking to contract somewhere north of 2 million residential customers for community solar savings over the next couple of years. It's a remarkable opportunity. You know, we're seeing the highest volumes of community solar, National Grid, NYSEG, and Central Hudson. And we're opening the opportunity to subscribe in all the other utilities in New York as well. Community solar, the local benefits. I've been saying this lately. I've been meaning to swap this slide out for basically, instead of what are the benefits, it's what's the downside, and the slide would just be blank. There is no downside that I've found over the years of doing this. I know it sounds crazy, but the hardest thing to convince people is that it seems too good to be true. But the value that we bring to the customer who sign up, I literally sign up for free. You save money. There's no cost to join. There's no rooftop solar getting installed. You can cancel anytime. I joke around saying you can cancel anytime. If you don't like saving money on your electric bill, you're welcome to leave. You know, renters and homeowners alike are welcomed. And if you move to the same utility service territory, you can take your subscription with you. Pretty amazing stuff. When you get into the additional kind of residual value, what you have to remember is that our customers drive new solar farms. We don't get to build these farms without you and your network who's signing up as customers. So literally, we're driving the development of more solar farms, which means local jobs. I say yes, sheep farmers as well. Lots of sheep farming going on in solar arrays and agriculture underneath them and all the like. We bring a ton of local tax base increases with solar generation, more investment into our communities, local savings is a gimme, as we all know. And some of the other stuff we don't think about is grid resiliency. As power outages start to flourish, more and more, or even at the regular rates, solar can actually help us with keeping the lights on, particularly in strategic locations in any given town. So the Think Enrollment Promise, I like to say that one of the biggest challenges that us as an industry has had is bringing enough projects to the table to support the customers that we're bringing out there. And so what we've developed here at Think Energy, at Think Plus and Think Energy is the Think Enrollment Promise. And so it's what we're saying is that we're so confident that we have the largest opportunity to bring the most farms to your customers across the United States, that we're willing to basically say that if we don't connect your customer to a farm within 12 months of signing up, we'll just cut them a check for $50. Hey, sorry for the inconvenience. The projects are getting built. And stick around, but here's a check for $50. Not a bad way to go. You sign up for free, you're going to enjoy, long-term savings, 5 to 10% on the bill credits received for the next 20 years if you want to stick around that long. And if we don't get you a farm right away, we'll cut you a check for $50. The farm is coming. So it's important to think about the generation cycle of solar. These are solar farms. And if you look at it, I'm in the Northeast here. I don't know about you guys, but the sun, we just changed the clocks, but the sun still goes down relatively early. It's still wintertime. We're coming in the springtime. If you look at the chart below, you'll see it starts in January. This is representative of the amount of solar or sunlight, which is, it goes 1 for 1. The amount of sunlight that we get in January slowly creeps up in the summers. That means more solar generation, and then drops back off again in the wintertime. So the way to think about solar bill credits and solar farm subscriptions, community solar subscriptions, is that you're going to get more credits in the summer than you are in the winter. You pay for those credits in the summertime in most states, and there's a caveat there for New York and Virginia. We'll talk about that, but most states you'll pay for those credits, which are going to, oftentimes exceed your bill, but you pay for them at a discount in the summertime, only to have those credits roll forward, reducing what you owe to the electricity bill. each month until you use those credits up through the winter. And that cycle starts again March 31st. So the idea is an annual cycle, saving you 5 to 10% on your annual bill credits received. So here's kind of a quick example. Don't get caught up in the numbers. I just want to show you guys that at the end of the day, you're saving money every month, and there's no other energy commodity that I know that you can sign up for free, not build anything in your house, and effectively save money for the next 20 years if you want to stick around that long. But if you look at the New York example, I like to point out that the savings is really based on the value of the bill credits received, and the bill credits are valued differently by state because each state has their own community solar program. So we'll inform you and educate you on all of that as you continue to kind of grow and sell with us. But for now, New York and Maine are the two examples I'd like to throw out there. So if you look at the numbers are the same on the top. The customer utility bill is basically it's 1,000 kilowatt hours used and you owe $150. The example is 15 cents a kilowatt hour. You use 1,000 kilowatt hours, you owe the utility $150. If no one here knows kilowatt hours, scrap the kilowatt hours, just look at the money. You get a bill, you owe the utility $150 this month. In this case, the community solar credit or the solar credit, it's for $105. So you've reduced your electric bill by $105. You don't know how your original bill is $150. You've reduced it by $105 this month, that second line item. Your community solar subscription fee, your discount is 5% in New York in this case. So your fee is 95% of the bill credit. So instead of you received a $105 bill credit, you're going to pay us $99.75 for being a participant in the farm. Ultimately, your total utility payment is $144. It was $150, remember, at the front of the month before you signed up for community solar. You save $5.25 this month. This is just an example. In the main example, you save a little bit more, and there's a reason for that. We'll talk about that. But it's same example, you save $13.50. All you did was sign up for free, support a local community solar farm, more jobs, more investment, more savings for all of us. So New York Community Solar. New York is an exceptional state from their commitment to renewable energy. I mentioned that earlier. They're looking to subscribe over 2 million customers over the next couple of years to solar farms locally in the state itself. And so what they've done to accommodate this huge number, and it far exceeds most other states. So in order to accommodate that, what they've done is they've come out with a concept of consolidated billing for community solar in the state itself. So the idea is that when you sign up for community solar, you sign up, it's more like retail power. You got your name, your address, and a utility account number, very straightforward. There is no payment mechanism needed. You don't need to give us a credit card or ACH information, which we'll talk about for those who don't know what I'm talking about yet. That's a fantastic difference, for New York. And you simply pay the utility bill. Every month you're going to get your normal utility bill. You'll see what you would typically owe to the utility based on your consumption for energy and electricity. And then you're going to see a line item for community solar bill credits, and you're going to reduce what you owe to the utility every month. You just pay the utility bill per usual, and then the utility comes around and pays us for the solar farm credits received at the discounts. So we eliminate a step here. So in New York, this is drum roll, please. We're not in the room. I wish we were together, but effectively, we're looking to sign up over 10 million. I'm sorry, not 10 million yet, guys. Don't let me get ahead of myself. 10,000 residential customers in New York today, and we're trying to do this in National Grid, NYSEG, Central Hudson, RG&E, and Orange and Rockland utility. We have more coming in Con Ed and Long Island as well. But right now our largest volume is in the first couple of states mentioned on the left. But this is a huge opportunity, guys. Consolidated billing. We can go out there and give people savings immediately, in New York, as easy as it gets. So all of the other states, New York and Virginia are unique. I should say Virginia falls into the New York category, and we have projects coming in Virginia very shortly as well. But all the other states out there today have a dual billing experience. And that means basically you sign up for community solar, super easy, 20 years of savings if you want to take that much. If you don't like saving money, you can cancel anytime, free of charge, free of fees. But when you get your bill every month, what you'll have is a dual billing scenario. You get your utility bill per usual. You'll have your standard charges. You'll have a line item that says solar bill credits or community solar farm. That'll reduce what you owe to the utility company. And shortly thereafter, you get a notification from us at Think Energy that says, hey, you received $100 in bill credits last month. You get a 10% discount. We're going to charge you $90, with your credit card that you signed up with in a couple of days. So it's really just a notification for an additional transaction. It's not about a bill or writing checks or any of that, but we want to make it totally transparent. You've already received savings on your utility bill. We want you to see what savings you've gotten on your utility bill. And now we're going to transact for the amount of solar credits you received already, minus the discount. So saving you a couple of bucks a month. And let me give one more example here. The simplest way I would think about this, guys, is that if every month your neighbor, I have a neighbor, Sue, I love her, she's amazing. And if she came over every morning, first Monday of the month, if she came over and basically knocked on my door and said, hey, Steve, I'm going to give you $100 this month, and I'd like you to turn around and give me 90, that sounds like 10 bucks saved for me, right? Sue gave me $100, I gave you 90 back. It's the same thing. If Sue came over and said, hey, could you sign this, no fee agreement, and every month for the next 20 years, I'm going to come over and give you $100 and you give me 90 back, you save $10 every month for doing nothing, I would take that all day. It's the same thing, except there's additional residual value we're bringing by building more renewables in our backyard. So coming back to going live in Maine, we're live as we speak. We're looking for 4,000 residential customers and 2 utilities. It's Central Maine Power and Versant. There's the only 2 utilities in the state of Maine. So we encourage you all. I have a graphic here showing when we want all these customers by, but I would ask you all to look at the graphic and smush it all down to April. If we get 4,000 customers between now and April, 1, somebody's winning a trip, which is awesome. And 2, most of you have earned some pretty significant rank, which means you're going to have some pretty significant, residual payments coming through for the next, 20 years, which is important to think about it as well. So we have one more example here on the dual billing experience. So just to kind of lay this out but before you go with Think Energy or Think Community Solar, before you sign up for a solar farm, there we go. Basically, you have a utility bill, just like everybody else, right? You could go on paying your $150, to the utility with no discounts included and just pay full rate. There's no benefit to doing that, and the utility gets everything that they want. On the flip side, you could sign up for free, no cancellation fees, and support local solar farms and all of the like. And the result for you is a utility bill that was $150. You receive solar credits for $130, reducing what you owe to your utility that month to $20, not bad. And then you receive that notification from us a couple of days later or shortly thereafter saying, hey, you received $130 in bill credits. That saved you $130 on your utility bill. It already happened. The savings has been received and acknowledged. And now we're going to charge you $117. That means your total cost all in, instead of $150, like your neighbor who didn't sign up, you $137 for that utility bill that month. Plus, you supported jobs, local solar benefits, resiliency, and all of the like. So there's a huge amount of value here with very little effort, is the way I would describe it. So here's something super exciting as well. Another reason I jumped on board with Think Energy is that because we're a retail energy provider and most other service providers in the community solar space are not, we have a unique opportunity to actually create our own consolidated billing through the utility itself. So this has not been deployed yet, and it is part of my daily job to go out there and get approvals with each state and each public utility commission across each state and each utility as well. But the goal here is to basically have customers sign up for both Think Community Solar, so they have a solar farm and savings. They sign up for retail power and other energy services as we roll those out, which are all about green and savings. And ultimately, we leverage our retail energy license to add a line item for community solar billing on the utility bill itself. I'm expecting to do this in Maine, New Jersey, Maryland, Massachusetts, and Illinois. And we've started the process of engaging each of those public utilities in each of those states already. So I just want you to know this is not happening today. It's going to be at least probably, till the end of the year before you get any given state approval at best, but we're super excited about the opportunity. It's much more forward thinking than anybody else is to make all of this far simpler, in the market.
Wow. Steve, I got to tell you, I mean, you just went through like 15 slides of content in 15 minutes and delivered it in an understandable way. And it seemed like you were just like calm, cool, and relaxed. So that's amazing. Just incredible. I'm so glad that we recorded this. But, before we let you go, right? Before we let you go, we've got some questions, right, that came into the chat. I mean, this is just incredible what you've laid out.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to review this myself. I was taking notes as well. So, okay, so question, just if you could touch on this, why are you so excited about Think Plus versus like working with some other community solar company that you've worked with in the past? Like, what's the main thing?
I love this question. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this short. So I'm sorry, Tony knows I'm a talker, but so 15 years of solar experience, 6 years doing community solar. And I like all of the other service providers are my friends. This is not a big industry, right? There's probably 15 other folks, and I know them all well. I sail with them, I fish with them, I hang out with them. And so I have been looking for a leadership team for the last 4 years that understands the value of 1, retail power, 2, green products, and 3, savings, real opportunities for savings for customers in the energy space. And I honestly believe that I've worked with a great company before this. I honestly believe that we have the only opportunity to bring the most amount of solar farms to the most amount of customers nationwide. And that has to do with multiple energy products, frankly. I don't think any other service provider can find enough solar product to keep this sustainable the way that we can. And I think all the project owners and developers recognize that. I know all of them as well. And the feedback I get is remarkable. I think we're going to be taking a greater. I'd be surprised if we didn't have 50% of the market share in the next 2 years. So I'll cut myself off.
So are we kind of like I don't know? Are we kind of like a community solar vortex? Like it's all going to come to us?
We are. You guys, I can't express in words what the opportunity is here and how many solar farms will be coming through the pipeline. I mean,
Wow.
and that has to do with the leadership team, the product, and you, frankly, the Think Plus network is a huge piece of this that I just can't speak highly enough about.
Fantastic. So how about this one? What if I already have solar panels on my house? Can I do this?
Oh, it's a great question. So every state, my understanding is right now, every state you can except New York. And I have to double check on some of the rules in the other states, but that's how it's been historically. New York does not allow you to have both. Every other state that I've been working in does.
Okay, great.
Today.
Great. We'll check that one off. What about commercial accounts? Like who can commercial accounts do this, and in all states, in some states, and there's qualifications for that?
Yeah, some states is the answer. So not all, but most states have what we call anchor positions, which means that an anchor, like some number of commercials accounts will take a larger percent, like call it like anywhere from 40 to 50% of the solar generation. So that's an opportunity for commercial in itself. And then there's other states where it's usually an anchor account and then the rest is residential. But there are caveats, and some states do allow like small commercial aggregations. So it's state by state, and we'll keep you well informed and educated on which, as we roll out each state, we'll make sure that everybody's well educated on exactly what we're looking for. Today, Maine is all residential. That's the ideal scenario. New York is a lot of residential with maybe some commercial caveats.
Okay, great. Fantastic. And speaking of Maine, how about this? So I've been in the industry myself for a few years as well in community solar. And I know that Maine started out with like a higher discount savings. Can you touch on that? Like, what is the story there? Are we the same as everybody else? It's kind of the question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I've seen over the years in solar is basically when new states come to fruition, they have a new program and the first community solar projects get built. Typically you see higher discounts, and there's 2 reasons for that. One, it's new to the state, and people, again, going back to the idea that the biggest pushback I've heard, I mean, for years is this is too good to be true, right? Like, why would I sign up for something for free that gives me money back every day? Like, why would my neighbor Sue give me $100 and every Monday morning on the first Monday of the month, and I give her 90 back for the next 20 years? And so the answer is that essentially, like, I'm sorry, I got into another topic here, but Let me answer that first. It's because solar is cheaper, better, more resilient, and fantastic. And so there's programs built around it. There's a reason we're transitioning to renewables. But the answer to the question is that states start off at higher discounts to make it more valuable to the customer so they jump on board. As the market develops and matures, the discounts come down. I saw it like in Massachusetts and Maine are good examples. They both started at 20% a couple of years ago, right? And as the markets matured and less solar farms were as readily available and people better understood it, the discounts slowly became closer to 10%. New York has gone to 5%. Massachusetts gone to 5 to 7.5% on, and Maine is competitive at 10. Really we're right on we're right on point. I've seen some other solar farms in Maine that are a little bit less than 10, but we're trying to hold strong and give the most benefit that we can to our customers. But you will see those discounts go down over time as markets mature. So jump on board early, give the most benefit to your customers.
All right, fantastic. We're definitely getting some serious people with serious questions here. So I've got another one for you, Steve. So what about low and moderate income, like LMI capacity, and will we be able to bring customers on? Will that be a focus? How's that going to fit in with Think Plus here?
Yeah, guys, LMI is going to go crazy. So two things is let me start with state programs. Massachusetts, Maryland, New York, Illinois, and New Jersey, and there's probably more, and Virginia are the 6 states that I can think of offhand, just off the top of my head. And New Mexico, make it 7, and Oregon, make it 8. And almost every state has some form of LMI program. And so what most of them have done is created pilot programs with call it like a few tens of thousands customers that were LMI to start. They want to see how it goes, pilot program, and then they're going to roll it out in full volume. So New York's the first one with big volume that I'm seeing roll out now. So New York LMI opportunity will be there very soon. And what that equates to is effectively like the LMI programs typically demand larger savings for the customers as well, because we're really trying to service, those who need it most with better savings. And so it's a huge opportunity. The next piece is, and again, we'll keep you educated as we roll out new opportunities. We're not going to keep you in the dark because we want you out selling, and sharing the good word. But the other piece of the Inflation Reduction Act brings opportunity virtually to every state. And so the rules are not rolled out around that, but it's coming quick.
Fantastic. And generally, do like the low and moderate income subscribers, people who fit into those categories and qualify for this, would they get the same kind of discounts, or was there like a benefit?
Typically higher discounts. Yep. So the states will typically, so I know like, and a good example is New York, that the typical discount is 5% in New York right now. The new program is going to roll out. Don't quote me on this, but the last I saw was somewhere between 15 and 20% for LMI. And so it's a huge bump and a huge savings opportunity and a huge opportunity for you guys to spread the word.
Wow. That is amazing. That is something else. So how about, people, so Steve, like people, you don't have to like own your own home or have, can you be in an apartment? Can you be in like, who can do it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, it's effectively anyone who pays an electric bill. I mean, these are, apartment, renter, you don't have to own your home. That's the whole beauty of community solar. This is why I jumped into community solar, is that I worked for 10 years in solar before I got here. And honestly, like we were servicing a lot of people who needed it, but we were also serving a lot of people who didn't and just knew how to take advantage of savings, right? And so they were savvy. And so I jumped into community solar because it really is the most equitable way to get the benefits of solar into the hands of everybody. One, LMI and residential customers, whether they own a home or not, right? Like they my best examples are those who are trying to, they're cutting checks month to month, right? And they're building a family and they're running a household and they're working more than one job. It's like, it's who needs it more than that? And to make the benefits available to these folks is just, it's remarkable in my mind. And so that's what community solar does. It's renters, it's homeowners, it's anyone that needs it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you guys, there's a lot of questions. Steve, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the chat, but it's like, I've never seen so many people like, thank you, Steve. Great, Steve. Awesome, Steve. It's like, I think I've never seen somebody write Steve. So many people write Steve in the chat ever.
Professor Steve. Professor Steve.
Professor Steve.
That's right.
Just amazing. You know, this presentation, this will be in our back office. We'll get this up onto the onto our YouTube channel right away, and I'm sure this will end up in the back office as well. Two more questions, Steve, and then if Jim has anything else as well. But crystal ball, Steve. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Next, if you were a betting man, what are the next 3, 4, or 5 states that we're going to open in?
Nice. Okay, next states we're going to open in. I was going after next states are going to open with legislation, but so all right, let me reframe here. So we're currently in Mass and New York. I'm going to say, oh God, I'm going to name all. So I'm going to say Maryland, Illinois, Virginia, Massachusetts.
Nice.
And I'm going to refrain from naming all the rest.
Okay. All right.
But they're all coming. They're all coming.
They're all coming. This is that was hypothetical, everybody.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's his best crystal ball guess, nothing etched in stone. Okay. So
those are very soon, and my crystal ball is very accurate.
Okay. Very good. I like that. Ooh. Okay. So you're doubling down on it. Nice.
I'm doubling down.
All right. Last one I have for you is a more of a big thought process. We have a bunch of people they've been in the energy industry. They're looking for something long-term. They want something that's going to be here that they can sink their teeth into and count on for the long term. So when do you think that the community solar opportunity will no longer be viable or prosperous in the United States?
Oh, wow. That's a big one, Tony. That's a big one. Gosh, that's interesting. I would say like there's a minimum of a 10-year runway here for huge volumes of residential customer acquisition, if you will, or customer referrals. We have a 10-year runway. That's what I would say, easy. Wow. And I don't think it's dead in 10 years. I think what happens is states hit their capacity and they find other ways to bob, weave, and shift to make sure that this keeps happening. So this is a huge opportunity, guys. Like with the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, like state by state has been remarkable as I've seen it grow over the last 15 years and like wildfire in the last 5. But with the Inflation Reduction Act, it just gives us more certainty than we've ever seen in the solar industry. The opportunity is getting any better, in my opinion, you know.
Fantastic. So build it for the next 10 years and then enjoy 20 years of residual. So what you're saying is, like, if somebody puts on a customer 10 years from now, potentially we're getting paid for 30 years.
That's right, guys. I can't put it into words how amazing this is. I mean, you know, if we're in a room, I'd be like stretching out and jumping up and down for you. You know, it's just, I love it. I love the industry. I love the runway. It's like, I love the leadership. I love everything about this.
I love it. That's great. So we've had you on the hot seat here for a long time. So I appreciate you sticking with us. Jim, is there anything that I've missed that we need to put in here before we let Steve off the hot seat and close things out?
Yeah, I got a good question for you, Steve. I won't let you totally. So a question that comes up a lot. So Illinois, you just mentioned that's a state that we're going to go into, and ComEd is the big utility. Downtown Chicago,
yeah,
100th floor of a building is going to have plenty of access to community solar because of the fact that it's connected to a grid that goes out into the country. Now, where all the farms are, right? So now you take the same scenario, you go to Manhattan. Right. There's no farms coming in Manhattan. I don't think they're going to allow us to, put Central Park with all, community. So, big field. I don't think that's happening. Right.
Yeah.
So what's the answer to something like that?
Yeah, the New York has been pretty creative with their solutions, actually. So I would start by, let me start by saying that I have subscribed tens of thousands of residential customers in New York City. Like, let me start with that. So there is opportunity. There's creative use of existing lands that just aren't being well used right now. That, believe it or not, there's pretty large rooftops in the 5 boroughs. You'd be amazed. Getting just north into Westchester County, land's expensive, but I'm seeing it. I'm seeing projects getting built. Interestingly, what the other thing that I'm seeing is that the New York programs specifically, I talk about community solar. I should be saying community energy, because that's part of like almost capitalizing on what kind of going back to what Tony was asking, is that it's not just about solar. There's other technologies that enter into the same program. So New York was really smart in how they built their existing program. It's not a community solar program. It's a community distributed generation program, and it's technology agnostic. And so we're seeing like batteries enter into that program. We're seeing hydrogen fuel cells enter into that program. and all of that generation requires residential and anchor customers. And so there's actually really interesting ways to actually be able to service residential customers in those high rises in New York. You'd be amazed. So it's coming.
Wow.
It's still coming.
Fantastic. Well, look, Steve, we've taken up enough of your time. We appreciate you sharing, and Jim and I, for everybody here on the call, I want to just thank you for taking the time to do this. You've been like amazing with us, and can we have you back on again sometime? Is that something we can do?
Anytime, Tony. I love it. I love seeing the network, guys. I met my local restaurant owner at one of the kickoff meetings. I live on the coast of New Hampshire, and a local restaurant owner who I know quite well because my wife and I go there was at the meeting selling with the Think Plus network. I couldn't have been more excited. So I love you guys. Keep up the good work. Keep growing. Jump in now. It's a huge opportunity.
All right. Fantastic, everybody. We'll let Steve get back. Jim, I want to thank you for running things and managing things here. I'm just going to put up on the screen. Everybody, thanks to Steve, and, he's just done an amazing job for us, and we're really can't be more excited about what's happening. What I will do is just put up our schedule on the screen. We'll get this replay tonight into the YouTube channel, so it'll be there within an hour. At youtube.com/@thinkbiggest. Check out our, meeting schedule that we have there. Hop in the Telegram channel. You guys, everything you have is here. It's all available. We have slides at the team Google Drive that you see there. So take a screenshot of this screen. It's a great resource, plus all the stuff in your back office. So you guys, it's just getting better and better. Every day we wake up, this gets better and better and closer to the mark. We're right at the beginning. You can't be in a better place at a better time right now. Just if you stay focused and you stick with us over the next several months and over the next couple of years, and you just put a part-time effort, you can do full-time. If you put a part-time effort in this, a concerted part-time effort week after week after week, over time, you are going to revolutionize your time and your money and your freedom in this program. So we appreciate everybody. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jim. And we'll see everybody soon on the next one. Over and out, everybody. We'll open it up. I guess we'll unmute everybody.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Tony. Great job. Great job.
All right. Fantastic. I think we made it so people can unmute themselves. Yes, we did.